Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Emma. Today's video is going to be a favourites video. I like to do these probably once every season, just give you a wrap up of everything I've been loving that season. So yeah, these are all the things I've been loving recently. I would say probably in the season of spring. I feel like they're quite spring based things. I've got some skincare, makeup bits, some books, and some other little random things that I want to mention in this video. Everything that I mention in this video I will leave a link down below if you want to check it out. If you do enjoy this video and do enjoy favourites videos, I would love if you could give this video a thumbs up. But without further ado, let's just get on into the favourites. Starting off with skincare products, the first thing I want to mention is the Bioma Phytomucin Glow Serum. I've been really intrigued by these sort of mucin serum based products. They're meant to be really good for hydration, and this one says it's good for hydration and plumping, and I was intrigued by this because I do actually really like all the other Bioma products that I've tried. My sister actually gave me this because she had bought it for herself and she wasn't fussed on it herself, but I really like it. I think it is a nice serum for hydration in particular. I only use this in the evenings, and I do it like after I've cleansed my face. I will put this on and I'll sleep in it overnight because it is quite a thick serum. It is that like mucin texture, so it's a bit sticky and like goopy almost. It comes in a pump, which is actually really nice because then you can just like squeeze it out onto your hand and then just apply. You don't need a lot of this, I don't think. A little goes quite a long way. I find it just really nice and hydrating. I have combination skin, I would say like oily dehydrated skin, and especially like now in my 30s I feel like my skin is like starting to show signs of aging and needs a little bit of hydration, and I just really like this. I put it on before I go to bed, and I wake up in the next morning and I feel like my skin looks really nice and plump and moisturized. I think it's just a really nice addition to my skincare routine for that little bit of extra hydration. I do really like it, and also because it is Bioma, it's pretty affordable. I'm pretty sure it's around the £10 mark, and also I love this packaging. It's cute and colourful, and yeah, I really like Bioma as a brand. My skin seems to really like them as well. So okay, the next skincare product is an SPF. I, to be honest with you, haven't been great with applying SPF every day. I had one that I liked, but I felt like it was breaking me out, so I wasn't using it as regularly as I should have been. So I went to pick up a new one in Boots, and I ended up picking this one just kind of on a whim, and it's the Thank You Pharma Sun Project Skin Relief Sun Cream. It's this one in the green packaging, and I believe this one is for more sensitive skin, which is what drew me to it. I have tried the Thank You Pharma water cream before, and I did actually really like that, but this I really love. It's just a really nice SPF. It sinks into the skin really nicely. I will say I do apply it and then I will leave it for a good like almost 10 minutes to sink into my skin before I go in with makeup. I do really like it. It doesn't seem to affect my makeup anyway. It's not breaking me out at all. I actually think it's helping my skin. I had a bit of like acne scarring down here, and that has visibly reduced since I've been using these two products. I'm not sure which one's doing it, but I've been using this like every day, whereas I only use this like a couple of times a week. So I'm inclined to think it's this. It is 50 plus, which I really like because I do have quite fair skin and I do burn pretty easily. So yeah, I've been really loving this. It doesn't irritate my skin at all. I really like the way it sinks in. It's pretty affordable. I would say it's about in the mid-range. I think it was around the £20 mark. I can't remember off the top of my head, but like I say, I will link it down below along with the other products mentioned in this video. But yeah, I really like it. I think it's really good. I believe this is Korean skincare. I've not used much Korean skincare, but everything I have used my skin seems to really like, so I'm intrigued to try more Korean based beauty brands. And since I bought it, I've been wearing it every day, which is really important. Even when it's not sunny, you should be wearing SPF. So yeah, I really love this, and I would recommend if you're on the market and you have more sensitive skin and you just want an SPF that's going to work well under makeup. I do also wear this without makeup and it looks nice. It does give like a bit of a sheen to the face, but it's not too glowy. Because I have oily skin, I don't want my skin to look too shiny after an SPF, and I find this isn't too bad. I really like this. I would recommend again. Okay, moving on to skincare favourites. The first thing is the NYX Buttermelt Glaze Soft Skin Tint. I have the shade 01 Whipped Butter. I really like this. I am definitely more of a skin tinted moisturiser kind of person, and I really like this one. I just apply it directly to my face, and then I will actually work it in with my hands, and then maybe just go over with a brush or beauty blender if I feel like I need to. But I feel like it just gives a nice coverage, just kind of even out to my skin tone. It doesn't give much coverage, like it's not going to be covering up spots or scars or things like that. The places where I want a little bit more coverage, I'll just go with concealer, and with the rest of my face, I do actually also really like it when I'm not really wearing any makeup. If I just want to put this on just to even out my skin tone, I really like it. I will say it's not the most long lasting because it is a skin tint, but I really like the finish. I think it looks nice on like just a weekend when I only need it to last a few hours. I think it's a really nice product. And also because it is NYX, it is pretty affordable. I think it's around the £10–12 mark, and I'm pretty sure the shade range is pretty good for this. But yeah, I really like it. It definitely does have a bit of a scent to it, I will say. So if you're a little bit sensitive to scents, you might want to be careful. It is also meant to have like a skincare benefit. I'm not sure about that. I will say it does feel quite hydrating on the face. I just really like it. I think it's a really good option for high street skin tint because I don't feel like there's a lot of that, like actual skin tints on the market. I feel like a lot of the skin tints I've tried have been a little bit more full coverage, whereas this is like a very light coverage. I will say this does say it has SPF 30. I never rely on this for SPF. I will still go in with my SPF underneath, and yeah, and I do have to powder it down. It is a little bit more of a sheeny finish than I would naturally like on my face. Like I say, I'm quite oily combination, so yeah, I do powder it down, but I do really like it. I think it's a really good product, and I have been using it for a while, and it seems to be lasting me really well. Again, cute packaging, it matches my nails. Okay, and then the next makeup product that I want to mention is actually a technique, and that is using a brush to blend in my concealer. The one I have here is the EcoTools Precise Concealer Brush. Just looks like this. I do actually quite like EcoTools brushes. I've got a couple of them. I just really liked the look that this was dome and it was a little bit more compact. This is the one I'm showing you, and I do really like it. It's not necessarily the one you have to have. I was using like a different brush before this, but yeah, I just really like blending in my concealer with a brush. I feel like I just get a bit more of a precise coverage. I will either put the concealer directly on my face and then just tap it in with the brush, just in like literally like a tapping motion, or I will like go directly from the product and pop it on my face like that. It honestly depends on the concealer that I have, that I'm using. But yeah, I just really like applying my concealer with a brush. I feel like it gives me a little bit more coverage, and like I say, it just keeps the application a little bit more precise, so I can really build up the concealer in the areas that I want it. Especially coming into spring summer, I just like a little less makeup on my face, and therefore I only really want concealer in the areas that I feel like I need a little bit of extra coverage. So just using a brush, I feel like it's just worked really nicely. I feel like I'm using less product because I'm putting the product where I want it, and yeah, I've just really been enjoying the look of blending in my concealer with a brush. It's a little bit more faffy because it does mean I have to like wash this more often than if I was just like use my finger. I'm really enjoying it. I think it just looks better on my face. I don't know if that's in my head. It might not look any different to anybody else, but to me, my concealer is just looking a bit nicer blended in with a brush. So I just did want to mention that in this video. And then the last makeup product that I want to mention is another NYX product. It's the NYX Buttermelt Blush. This is specifically in the shade Butter Together, and it's a very pinky blush. If I show you, like you can see that, yeah, it's a very pinky blush, which haven't always been prone to using. I've always kind of strayed away from a bright pink blush just because I do naturally have quite chubby cheeks, and I haven't always loved highlighting that with such a bright colour. I don't know, I just wanted a bright pink blush. I saw this one and I really love it. I really love the formula of these. I would be intrigued to try other shades, and also they have bronzers, which I would love to try because I just really love the formula. It's really easy to blend, like very easy to use, I find, because it is more of a bright colour. I do kind of like tap off the excess off my brush just so I'm not going overboard with my blush, but I just really like it. I think it's a really nice colour. I think it looks nice. It's got a little bit more of a sheen to it, I think, than my other powder blushes, which I really like, and I think it's just been a gorgeous spring blush that I've been really enjoying using. I think it's just like a very springy colour, that little pink. I've been enjoying a bit more of a pink on my lip and a pink on my cheek, and I think it looks really cute and springy and fresh. Like I said, I'm wearing a little bit less makeup, so I just like a little bit more colour in there, just for like, so yeah, just like adding a little bit more colour. The only thing I will say about this, and I feel like brands are having this tendency at the moment. The packaging is quite bulky, where I don't know if it needs to be, because like that's quite bulky and there's not even like a mirror in there or anything that you're protecting. So I feel like there is a kind of a trend for like more bulky packaging. I do actually like that they're like in the colour of the shades though. I think that's cute. But yeah, I've just been really liking this, just applying it on the apples of my cheeks and like up. And I think it's just a cute springy colour. I will definitely be using this again in the summer. Again, because it is NYX, it's pretty affordable. I'm pretty sure this was about £10. But to be honest with you, I find like a powder blusher lasts me ages, because I feel like a blusher is one of the things I'm most likely to switch up depending on my shade. But currently I've just been loving this one. Yeah, wanted to mention that. Okay, so that's it for all the beauty products. Okay, moving on to books. I've got 2 books here. The first one is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I'm not going to go on about this too much because I did mention this in my spring reads, but I did really enjoy it. It follows the story of Theo Decker from his life as a teenager, from losing his mother up until his like mid-20s, and his life experiencing grief. It's kind of a coming of age story. It's a sad coming of age story, so I will say it is quite sad, so maybe look up any trigger warnings. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It is a lengthy, chunky read. It did take me some time to get through it, but I actually quite enjoyed taking my time with it and just going through it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I don't think back when I mentioned it in my spring reads I had finished it, but I have now finished it and I did really love it. After that, because that was a bit more of a heavy read, I needed something light and cutesy and rom-com-y to read. So I read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, and I really love this. Now, I will say it's very cheesy. It's very predictable, like you know what's going to happen from like page 2. The main character, what's her name? Liz, is a little bit annoying. I mean that in the nicest way possible, but I think it's because like she's like obviously got to be unaware of what's happening because you've got to like fill up the book, but it's so obvious to the reader that what's going to happen. She's a little bit like annoying, but I can get over that because it was just really cutesy. But yeah, this is the story of Liz and Wes who have been next door neighbours, and they're kind of enemies. They have a quarrel over a parking spot on their street quite regularly, and so they're kind of like enemies. And then a childhood friend, Michael, comes back, who was always Liz's crush, and Liz and Wes plot together to get Michael's attention for Liz. What happens next? I mean, you can probably tell, but I will say it's just very cute. It's very like easy read. It had me giggling, it had me kicking my feet, it had all those little like rom-com-y feels that you kind of want. It is kind of like reading a rom-com, and I will say there's a lot of references to rom-coms in this book. If there's a few rom-coms that you want to watch that you don't want spoilers to, maybe don't read this because it kind of tells you a bit about some rom-coms. It's cute, it's easy. I will say this is a YA, so if you are wanting romance with a side of steam, this is probably not the book for you because they're like 17 years old, but it's just cute and I enjoyed it, and it was just what I needed. It was a very easy, happy, cutesy read. And there is another one, I believe, called Nothing Like the Movies, which I will read probably pretty soon because it was just a good like little palette cleanser. Maybe if you're in like a rut, or like if you've just read something quite heavy and long and you just want something quick and easy and like low stakes, this is for you. It was just very cute. I really enjoyed it. I love a little teenage romance. And again, cute spring colours. Can you see the theme? Okay, and then the last couple of things that I want to mention are media favourites. So the first thing is a TV show. I have been watching Desperate Housewives. I watch it on Disney Plus for anybody in the UK who is curious, and I'm really loving it. I'm only on season 4 because I am trying to slow down my watching, because I have previously watched to about the same point where I am now, and then I felt like I binge watched it so much that I just kind of burnt myself out with the show and never finished it. So yeah, I am trying to take it slow. So I am on season 4. Please no spoilers in the comments. I kind of do know what happens because like it's been around for ages, and I feel like it's one of those infamous shows, but I just wanted a nice easy show that I could watch throughout the spring and summer month, and it's definitely providing that. If you didn't know, it follows the lives of 4 housewives who live on a street called Wisteria Lane. You have Susan Meyer, you have Brie Vandekamp, you have Gabriella Solis, and you have Lynette Scarvo. They all live on the street. Susan Meyer is divorcing her husband because he was unfaithful to her. Brie Vandekamp is married with 2 teenage children and appears to be the perfect homemaker and perfect wife, but there's more going on behind the scenes. Gabriella Solis is a model from New York and she married Carlos, who is rich, and yeah, they're kind of like relatively newly married. And then you have Lynette Scarvo, who used to be a career woman and then she met her husband and she now has 4 kids, all under the age of like 6. Follow the lives of those 4 women. There is also like an ensemble cast of other people who live on the street. But I just find it really, really entertaining. It starts when their neighbour, Mary Alice, takes her own life and nobody knows why, because she seemed to have the perfect life, and it kind of like goes into the idea like all these people appear to have the perfect life, but really there's more going on behind these front doors than maybe it seems. And it's really entertaining. There's a little bit of romance, there's a little bit of mystery, there's a little bit of murder, there's a little bit of crime, there's a little bit of scandal, but it still manages to stay pretty light-hearted. Like, there is some quite dark things that happen in the show, but it never feels like, it's not like a dark gritty drama. It's very like quite light, because there's always like, when you've got a couple of serious storylines going on, there's always some more lighter storylines, and I just find it's a good balance for a show. It's entertaining, it's funny, it does make me cry sometimes, but it's just entertaining. And it's got the little bit of romances in there. Yeah, it kind of follows those 4 mainly, and mainly they're like partners, but yeah, it kind of does touch on other people in the street, so there's always something going on. So even if like you're not fully invested in one storyline, there's like multiple other storylines going on, and they tend to have like one storyline that threads throughout the season, and then there's like other little bits thrown in there. Every woman has something to do in the season, which I really, really like. I feel like it's quite leveled out in that way, because I feel like it kind of starts with Susan being the main character, but now we're in like getting into season 4, I feel like all 4 of them are equally the main character and they all have their own moments to shine, and I love all 4. I mean, all 4 of them have got unlikable qualities and they're all very flawed people, and they all some of them make very questionable choices, but it's just really entertaining, and I really like. I'm pretty sure it's like a 2000 show, which I think you can kind of tell watching it, but it's just entertaining, and they're like 45-minute episodes, and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, that's definitely going to be my show for this rest of spring and for summer, because I'm pretty sure there's like 7 or 8 seasons. I think there's 7 seasons, and where I'm at now, I'm at the beginning of season 4. I've never got past that point, so I'm intrigued. I mean, I'm pretty much know what happens, but I'm intrigued to find out. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'd recommend. Like I said, it's on Disney Plus here in the UK if you want to watch it. Okay, and then the last couple of things I want to mention, as always, are a couple of music favourites. Honestly, there's not that much. I've been listening to a lot of the same things on repeat. Standouts, this one is kind of old now, but I still really, really love it, and that is Role Model's Sally When the Wine Runs Out. I love Role Model. I think he's great. I think he's hilarious. Like everyone, I love that song, and I kind of want to go see him live and be the Sally. My other favourite, I'm really enjoying Lorde's new song, What Was That? And I'm excited for the new album. But in kind of like conjunction with that, I've been listening to some old Lorde, and I'm obsessed with the song Supercut in particular. I'm listening to that a lot. I've been listening to a lot of Jonas. His new album just came out. I've been listening to Heart by Heart regularly, but I really like the album. I've only listened to it twice, so I still need to pick my favourites, but I really like Velvet something, Honey Blonde, and My Own Best Friend. The vocals of My Own Best Friend, chef's kiss. I'm also really, really loving Haim's new songs, Down to Be Wrong, Relationships, the song with Bon Iver. I just bought tickets to go see them in October, and I'm so excited. I've always wanted to see them live. I've also really been liking Samia. We went to see Maggie Rogers a few years ago, and Samia was the support act. So I've always kind of listened to a couple of her songs, and she's just had a new album come out. I think it's called Bloodless. Yeah, and I really, really like that. My favourites are Lizard, Bovine Excision, Carousel and Pants. But I really like the whole album, and then I've also been listening to other Samia songs. I'm really liking that album. It's really good. I think they're all my favourites. I will link my Spotify down below if anyone's intrigued. I've got a spring playlist, and I just listen to that playlist on repeat. But yeah, if anybody has any other music recommendations, do let me know in the comments below, because I just feel like I'm listening to a lot of the same things over and over, which is fine and I'm enjoying it, but I feel like I need to diversify a bit. But yeah, they were all the favourites that I wanted to mention in this video. Like I said at the beginning, everything that I mentioned I will leave a link down below if you want to check it out. If you did enjoy this video and do enjoy favourites videos, then please do give this video a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below any of your recent favourites or anything that you would recommend based on these things that I've mentioned. If you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you could subscribe, and I will see you all next week in a brand new one. Goodbye.